came into hospital after speaking to my GP. I'd had some symptoms that he was concerned about. He was worried that I'd had a TIA or a stroke. And because my symptoms had escalated really during the day, so I presented at A&E, and I was seen by one of the junior doctors in A&E, who was absolutely fantastic, really thorough, really personable, very professional, and really fantastic. I thought, the A&E was massively full, and I just really liked the fact that she really listened to me. She didn't sort of make presumptions about what was going on, and she was just incredibly thorough. Considering there's a pandemic going on, she said to me she thought the same as the GP, that it was either a TIA or a stroke, and she wanted me to go up to Telford. Essentially, we're waiting for a bed on the stroke unit, and all of the staff, both in Shrewsbury and Telford A&E, were fantastic. They just really good communication, and very reassuring and calming. And I just really like the fact that despite the fact that it was so busy, people had time for you. If you stopped them to ask them a question, people took the time to find out what you wanted to know, and came back to you. They were very reassuring. And then when I went up to the ward, it was probably midnight, 12:30, something like that. I was greeted by the ward staff, and they were just incredibly welcoming. I hadn't anticipated I'd end up on the ward. I thought I'd go home, and I was really anxious about being in hospital. I'm a terrible patient. I hate being on the other side, and the staff were just brilliant, and I felt more in control than I'd anticipated. They gave me the option of what I wanted to do, and explained the implications if I went home. And then one of the healthcare assistants came to me and just spontaneously brought me a drink and a biscuit, and I just found it incredibly reassuring and welcoming, because I felt very out of place and anxious, in the actual bay. And she stayed, and she, stayed sort of with me and chatted to me, and she was able to relate to what was going on for me, and I found it hugely reassuring. They all introduced themselves, came and explained, what their role was, and just sort of kept me informed really of what was going on. I think all of the staff just bent over backwards to try to make the whole experience being in hospital less anxiety provoking than it would otherwise have been, just with things like you don't have any toiletries or towels or anything like that, and not having to ask, just being given those things, and encouraged to almost make yourself at home, I thought was fantastic. And then the consultant that I saw the next day, in the morning on the ward round, I thought she was brilliant. I really, I've experienced a huge number of ward rounds over the years, and I just thought she had a really great manner with her staff, with her, medical and nursing team. I really liked the way she spoke to them and was teaching them. She was really respectful and down to earth, and she was brilliant. And then I spoke. Then later on that day, I was taken to for an MRI, and again, I really liked the porters. Very friendly and made you feel at ease. Introduced themselves and called you by your first name, which I really liked, and just everyone on the ward was brilliant. The housekeeping staff, just stuff like remembering, what you have to drink. Just makes you feel like an actual person rather than sort of being processed on a production line, and it meant a great deal. And because I was so anxious when I came in, it made such a difference, just that everybody was so lovely. And a lady in our bay had arrested, and I was just incredibly well organised. It was very dignified, and it was led by the consultant, so well managed. And the nurses afterwards checked in with us to make sure we were okay. The ward sister, and I just really liked how the consultant thanked her team at the end, and and said to them that they'd saved that lady's life. And incredibly organised and sorted out all my drugs to take home and discharge letter and everything. And as I left, I was going the wrong way in the hospital, and two of the porters were walking down the corridor who had taken me to MRI earlier, and one of them called me by my name and said to me, was I going the wrong way? And I thought, God, that's incredible, in a hospital that's so busy, that the people remember you. And I just thought that was really sort of summed up for me, my experience. Everybody, contributes in their own way, and I think the atmosphere on the ward was, almost sort of family-like. It was very friendly and welcoming. It is my greatest terror, being taken into hospital, just being disempowered, I guess. And so that was probably my biggest fear. Extremely positive. I would feel confident about going to A&E, and were I ever in the same position again and had to be admitted, I'd feel considerably better about it. And infection control was brilliant, and just every aspect it just seemed seamless. The experience that I had, it was really impressive.